What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're doing a little bit of a road trip. We're going from downtown Los Angeles all the way down to San Diego area, like the suburbs, because I do have a meeting down there and it's about 115 miles away. And I actually didn't get to charge the battery up to 100% last night. So we'll see how many stops at the superchargers I need to take, and to give you a realistic viewpoint on how doing a road trip from LA down to San Diego in your Tesla is, how many stops you have to take, and if there's any range anxiety on your way down. So welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching another video, and let's get into it. So I'm about to get onto the highway, but my windshield is really dirty. So let's pull over to the side really quick so I can just go ahead and clean it. So hopefully it's nice and clean so you guys can see clearly outside the front windshield. I'm about to get onto the highway, and from downtown Los Angeles down to San Diego, it's 114 miles and it's gonna take 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's 7 o'clock right now and we should arrive at around 9:07 a.m. But in terms of the battery, yeah, I did not charge it up to 80% or even 90 or 100% like they say you're supposed to. So I only was able to charge it to 61%, which is about at 2 to 3 miles of range, or 2 to 3 miles of range per percentage point. That's about 180 miles of total range, but we're gonna be going at highway speeds up maybe like 75 to 80 miles an hour average. So we might get a little less depending instead of the 2 to 3 miles per range, or 2 to 3 miles of range per percentage point. So in terms of what the Tesla system is predicting that we're gonna arrive at, we're starting with 61% of the battery and we're gonna arrive with 15% of the battery. So cruising along at moderate speeds, we only left 10 minutes ago, but we've been averaging probably around like 30 to 40 miles because there's a little bit of traffic. And the Tesla system is already estimated we're already going to be a couple percentage points higher in battery when we arrive in San Diego. It was saying 14% before and now it's saying 16%. That's a little bit good because that's about 6 miles, and we need all the battery we can get after we're done with our meeting in San Diego so that we can make it to the closest supercharger, which is not very close to where the meeting is at. So of course there's a little bit of traffic. I'm going to be in Tesla autopilot most of the way down, so I'm just going to sit back, relax, probably listen to some music or some podcasts and chill all the way down to San Diego. All right, so we're about halfway there, another 61 miles or 56 minutes to go. And because we've been driving so well and there was a lot of traffic earlier getting out of LA, and we're probably driving at around 30 miles to 40 miles the whole time average. Now we're up to about 75 miles an hour, but since we've been driving at a reduced speed the whole time, our estimated range of battery is now up to 22 miles at arrival, and that's up from 14%, which it was stating when we left downtown LA. So definitely a lot more efficiency because we've been driving a lot slower, and I'm gonna keep it under 80 miles at around the 75 to 77 mile speed limit the whole time. 22% of the battery is about 50 miles, give or take. So what I think I'm gonna do is, there's a pretty nice supercharger at the San Clemente outlet mall, which I actually made a review about that supercharging station. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all the way to my meeting in San Diego. I'm gonna see if I can make it all the way back from San Diego all the way up to San Clemente, which I think is about 50 miles. It might be a little bit more, so I might not have enough battery or enough mile range to get all the way back to San Clemente. All right, so we are 5 minutes away from our destination. Definitely a bumpy ride, but we did okay in terms of driving. Now the computer, or the Tesla computer, is estimating that we're gonna arrive with 21% of the battery, which when we started the trip, it was gonna say we're gonna ride with 14% of the battery. This is like a 7-point increase, which is pretty good because 21% of the battery is about 50 miles or 60 miles, give or take. So we're definitely going to need to go to a supercharger on the way back. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm gonna go to my meeting really quick, and then after the meeting, I'm gonna figure out which supercharger we can go to. Hopefully it'll be the one that's in the San Clemente area, which I think is about 50 miles away. Because then if we can get to that one, that's a 150 kilowatt supercharger. Then we can charge up enough to get back to LA, or we can go to a supercharger that's in San Diego, which is also 150 kilowatt, but it's kind of further off the highway, about 10 minutes, which is kind of annoying. But I mean, it's still 150 kilowatt, which is still pretty good. So I'm gonna go to my meeting really quick, and then we'll calibrate and see after which supercharger we can go to. All right, so we just finished my meeting in San Diego, and I'm looking at the GPS system right now. We only have 19% of the battery, and so it's definitely not gonna be enough to make it all the way back to Los Angeles. So I navigated it back to Los Angeles, and it wants me to stop at the supercharger in San Diego Balboa Park, which there are a couple other superchargers on the way. Like there's one right here that's kind of off the highway. There's definitely one in Carlsbad, but that one's only like a 72 kilowatt supercharger. The one I really want to go to was in San Clemente, which is 50 miles away. I think we could probably make it, especially if we drove really slow the whole time, because 19% of the battery is about 3 miles. Let's switch it over to display to miles so we can see. Yeah, so it's 55 miles, but of course it probably doesn't want to risk going 55 miles to go 50 miles. So that's probably why it doesn't want us to go to San Clemente. It would rather us go to this supercharger, which is 10 minutes away in San Diego, because this supercharger is a 250 kilowatt supercharger, which would charge it a lot quicker, hopefully up to 80 or 90%. So that we can be on our way. So let's go ahead. It's 12:36 p.m. right now. Definitely need to charge up before making it all the way home because we only have 55 miles of battery range. Let's go to this supercharger, charge up, and then hopefully get enough to get all the way back to Los Angeles. All right, so getting to the supercharger, it looks like it's at like a Kohl's or something, but there doesn't seem to be too many spots. There's like 2 spots open, so I'm gonna go in and park at this one. And then we'll see how fast this charger gets. It's rated at 250 kilowatts, but typically I haven't seen it get that high recently. There seems to be a lot of shops around this area. It looks like a CVS, a Vons. Across the street there's a Panera Bread and a Target, McDonald's, so definitely a pretty convenient area. I just plugged it in and we're looking at 172 kilowatts rate of speed or 650 miles per hour. This should go up to about like 250, but no, it looks like it's decreasing pretty rapidly down to 94. Hopefully it goes back up, but I guess we'll see what happens. So the Tesla that was to the stall to the right of me just left, and the charge rate went up to about 147 kilowatts now, or 551 miles an hour. So a little bit quicker, and it still says it's going to take another 30 minutes to charge up to 90%, but I'm probably just going to charge up to 80% so I can be on my way, so I can beat some of the Los Angeles traffic as I get closer north. The charging rate has definitely slowed down to about 63 kilowatts, and it was earlier about 150. So I'm probably going to go ahead and unplug it pretty soon, but we've gained 160 miles for about the 25 minutes we've been here. It's about 1:08 p.m. now. This should be more than enough, 213 miles, which is more than enough to get back. And our total cost, of course, is 0, which is thanks to you guys for all the referral miles. I could wait another 14 more minutes to charge up to 90%, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and plug it now, and so we can be on our way back up to Los Angeles, and I'll just charge at home. So mapping back home or Los Angeles from San Diego, it's 121 miles. It's gonna take us 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we're starting with 73% of the battery, and we should arrive with 24% of the battery, which I suspect if we drive pretty calm and under 80 miles an hour, that's gonna be about 26, 27, maybe even 30% of the battery. And then we'll just charge up at home for our travel the next day. I'll check in when we're at the halfway mark to see how the battery is doing and how our range is doing on the way. Alright, so definitely some rush hour traffic right now. I'm super tired. I've been on the road for almost like 4 hours already today, but we're about halfway there from San Diego up to Los Angeles. We have another hour and 7 minutes to go, or 40 miles to go, and we should be arriving by like 4 o'clock. In terms of how we're doing with the battery, just as I predicted, we are up to 30% estimated battery at arrival, which was I think up from like 20 something percent, like 26%. So definitely we've been doing well with maintaining our speed, and we should be getting a lot more battery on the way back because we're going to be going like rush hour traffic speeds, like 32 to maybe like 60 miles an hour. So when we get back to Los Angeles, I'll film how much battery we have left, and of course I will charge up the car, hopefully if there's a charging spot, so that we have enough battery for tomorrow. All right, so we're just getting back to downtown Los Angeles, and it's almost 4 o'clock, and we've got 94 miles on the battery. And let me just pull up how much battery we have left. We're now up to 31% of the battery, which is a lot better than what it was projected that we were going to arrive with. I think it was projected to be with like 26% of the battery left when we would arrive back in LA, but 94 miles left of range is what we're saying we have left. So basically, if you want to drive down from Los Angeles down to San Diego and back in a Model Y, we left with about 61% of the battery. I had to supercharge down in San Diego up to about 80%, give or take, and now we're back in Los Angeles with about 30%. So you definitely have to supercharge. Even if I left with 100% of the battery, you definitely have to supercharge in San Diego just to be able to get back up to Los Angeles with enough battery. But now we are in the thick of Los Angeles traffic. The downtown is on our right sides. So this is where I'm gonna go ahead and end it, guys. Thanks for watching another video. Please hit that like if you enjoyed it, and comment below if you have any questions on road tripping with a Tesla Model Y, or if you have any questions on buying a Tesla at all. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.